Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, and I apologize. I overslept this morning. It was kind of chilly out last night, so you had that crispness in the air, and you had the covers over you, so you had that warm, and you just didn't want to wake up today. But as always, I want to thank you guys for being here, and let me welcome my man Joe Boo in the house, as well as Joe Bear, and as always, like I said, man, I can't make it without you guys and you wonderful ladies. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up here, guys. Well, tomorrow is Championship Sunday. We've got 2 games left, and then we got the Super Bowl, and that's it to the NFL season. It has come and it has gone, and 2020 has been a crazy year. It has been so crazy that literally I just got this. I don't know if this was delivered here and it was lost or what, but this just literally is here. It was sent 8/20/20, and from Mandrell. I know what this is. I remember you saying, Mandrell, I apologize, man, that I hadn't gotten this, but I know what this may be. I think I know what this is. I think it's a... Oh, wow. Montreal. Randy Moss, Des Bryant card, and Bob Lilly. Oh, my goodness. Trading cards. Man, Montreal, Harris, thank you so much, man. I'll get you a message on Facebook. I need to actually put one of my racks up with those on there. He sent me a lot of great cards, and I appreciate them so much. So today, yesterday I was wearing my red Dallas Cowboys shirt, which I should put 911 on the back of it, because that should be my message when we have issues with the Dallas Cowboys, which I probably should wear that all the time, knowing the Dallas Cowboys. We have the argument that seems like it's been going on forever between Cowboy fans, between the talking heads on Dak Prescott. That Dak Prescott is the only quarterback in the world that should not be compensated. Other guys, there's no question. We were told that Dak's yards were empty calories and everything else, and that he was on a bad team, of course, always behind. So that's why his yards were good. They're empty calories, they're garbage yards. Well, I take a look at Deshaun Watson this year, and his numbers are similar to exactly what Dak Prescott had last year on an 8-8 team. And I haven't heard anybody talking about his yards being empty calories. I haven't been talking about anybody saying, well, look, Deshaun Watson went 4-12. He's garbage. I haven't heard anybody talking about his playoff record where it's 1-2, the same playoff record that Dak Prescott has. And when he got his contract, nobody blinked an eye. It's funny because I want to go back to this. How much is Dak Prescott worth? This aired on NFL AM, May of 2019. And this is where you realize that the Cowboys have themselves to blame for the situation that they're in. Let's go back through and listen to this real quick.
To it. Will 2019 be the best opportunity for them to make a Super Bowl run? That's another question, but sure. I have to ask you this.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about him getting paid and what he should get paid. Mm-hmm. What is the value of Dak Prescott?
It's such a great question. I hate putting a value on any young man and saying, here's a dollar sign, but I look at the quarterbacks who haven't won playoff games, who have been paid in recent years.
Talk about it.
And maybe it's not the best example, but if you look at these names, and it's, the Derek Carrs and the Jimmy Garoppolos and all these guys, that's what they make. That's their average. And look at the very bottom, what he's dealing with right now. $681,000 is Dak's average when Cousins and Garoppolo are making north of 27. So to me, I think the average for Dak Prescott starts at a 3. He's the quarterback of America's team. He holds himself in the highest of regards.
Schrager
as far
ate
as
three.
I think that's
30 million.
30 million?
Of the
Oh my
Cowboys.
God!
He won a playoff game. Guys, do you remember the playoff game last year against the Seahawks? Everything
Doesn't
against
get
them,
talked about much.
The stack is all against him. He makes a play against the Seahawks.
Talk
where he
about
takes
it.
the ball and he says, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to run. I'm going to run. I'm going to scramble." He gets flipped over, gets the first down. He celebrates, and to me, that was the celebration of a victory in a playoff game. It was also a celebration of, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
And you got to get paid. I think he deserves it.
And yet here we are.
I know.
He's not getting paid. His value, Kay.
Yes.
His cap hit right now is 0.04%, less than half of 1%. The value is that, and he's very good. He's good. The worst case scenario for the Cowboys would be they say, screw it.
Read
We're
between
gonna
the
pay him
lines.
$31 million a year, and he doesn't get any better. He's just good Dak Prescott. Because if you're going to make those checks and those big 30-plus million and get to the playoffs, you got to be a fiend. Like, you got to be Russell. You got to be Breeze. Maybe Rodgers. I think the Dallas Cowboys have nothing to lose by waiting. I don't care. Enter the season. And you know what?
Enter the season without paying him?
Absolutely. Because
Nothing.
if you sign him to $30 million and Dak doesn't get better, you could be screwed for years. If you start the season, let's say you start 4-1 and Dak's good, pay him then. However, play this out. Let's say you go through the year and the Dallas Cowboys end 9-7 and they don't make the playoffs and you still haven't signed him, still sign him, but yours way, way, way less and it gives you way more room. I don't see any urgency to do this other than this, I believe, contrived deal. You can't enter the season with your... Yes, you can. Watch. Dak has never been a guy to stomp his foot.
Packers
He's still a
started the
fourth-round
season
guy.
without
I think he
paying
can still do
Rodgers.
it.
You're right. The
I think they
Packers
should.
did it.
I do.
So you're saying at $30 million, he has to be the man. He has to be phenomenal.
But they won't win. He's going to be part of that group with Derek Carr and Matt Stafford and Garoppolo. Book it, because there won't be enough players around him.
Well, you know what? You got to book the contract because that group of individuals you're talking about, those guys have losing records. Dak is 32-12, 32-16 in his career. Cousins, Stafford, Derek Carr, all losing records. None of those individuals have won a playoff game. Not only did Dak win that playoff game last year, you remember the game against Aaron Rodgers his rookie year? We're talking about the absolute shootout where Aaron Rodgers had to pull maybe the best throw of his career to beat a young Dak Prescott. So you're telling me, you know what? Let's hold off on paying Dak when you have guys like Stafford, my former quarterback, hasn't won a playoff game. Kirk Cousins, who broke the bank, had $50 million, $25 million 2 years in a row with the Washington Redskins, and he goes break the banks of Minnesota Vikings, still hasn't won a playoff game. Derek Carr, who was a $100 million quarterback, still hasn't won a playoff game. If I'm Dak Prescott,
You're making the case to not pay him.
Yeah,
No.
that's right. You're just listing guys who have gotten
Like, if
paid
I'm
and
in the
never-
front office, I'm like, ooh,
I'm not making a case.
Actually,
I'm making the case that his agent is going to make because he's going to walk in there and say, look at the market.
Yeah.
Look at what my player has done.
The agent will
and
say
I
that.
dare you to tell me he's not worth $30 million because the market says my quarterback is more important and worth more than these individuals making much more. So the argument I'm making is what the agent will make.
The Cowboys have to walk away from one of these young guys, whether it be Jalen Smith or Byron Jones or Amari Cooper or Zeke Elliott. I don't think it's the quarterback.
Yeah.
I think that's the one guy.
No, you
that
got to
takes care
sign
of
him, but not for $1 more than you want to pay. Every dollar you can save on this guy helps your team. Every one.
if you
One of
have
these
to-
guys
if
will
you
not
have to
be-
pay
Yeah, well.
to put Dak on this on the full screen, where he's going to be one of the top paid guys, or Zeke as one of the top paid guys, which he already is a top 5 paid running back. What are you more comfortable with going into the year, Kyle?
I don't want to pay
Zeke
either.
has,
I
Zeke
don't
has
want to
2
pay either
years.
of them.
Zeke has an option.
I don't want to pay
So I don't
either.
think
For
we
the
should
season,
touch
I don't want
him.
to pay either.
Okay.
But I'm not letting Dak leave. This is a question of value. We can't just keep throwing these $30 million around. You know, Derek Carr was cruising. Derek Carr was going to go to the playoffs and win, and he got hurt. He was going to be the MVP. It's a very strong cautionary tale. He's not been the same since then.
I don't understand. How much more do you want Dak to do since
Thank
entering
you.
the league?
Hey, he's been good in some
Tom
playoff
Brady.
games. I wish he was better in the regular season.
Since entering the league, Tom Brady and Big Ben have a higher winning percentage. Like, what else do you want? He's been in the playoffs twice.
Nate,
Like,
look at him in a vacuum. If you were to rank your quarterbacks 1 through 32, where's Dak? 15? Come on, you know it. He's not great. He's good.
It
right?
doesn't
He's good.
matter what I rank him. I'm looking at production and numbers. If there's a quarterback taking my team to the playoffs, be careful what you ask for. They mess around and don't pay this individual, then they'll be scraping to find the next best thing. And think about the drop-off between top tier, Dak Prescott, who isn't in top tier yet, and then the rest of the league. You don't want to find yourself in the bottom third looking for a quarterback just to suffice. We need a bridge quarterback till the next draft
We'll
pick
see how
comes
good
around.
he is when Jalen's gone, Amari's gone, all those guys are gone. Because if he gets 30, bye-bye. See ya. We'll see. I just don't want him to overpay him.
They still have Zeke, though, and they run the ball more
think
than
they will have
50%
Zeke.
of the time. They do the same thing.
Yeah, okay. So I brought that back up. Here's the thing. It's so amazing. It's so amazing because just 2 years ago, 2 years, let me change the camera. Just 2 years ago, we were talking about the roof of the sucker being $30 million. Oh my God, you can't pay him $30 million. Well, you know what? Had 2 years ago, they had done that. At the time, we would have said, oh my God, that's a lot of money. But now as Deshaun Watson gets 39, as Pat Mahomes gets 45, that next year, if they keep Big Ben, his cap hit is $42 million. Now that Russell Wilson is soon going to be getting one, who's at 35 currently, and Aaron Rodgers at 34. And you've got Jared Goff and Carson Wentz at 33 and Kirk Cousins at 32. And the list goes on. Could you imagine had the Cowboys 2 years ago signed Dak for $30 million, making him the highest paid right then? Right now, his compensation wouldn't be in the top 10. The funny thing is if you don't pay Dak this year, you'll still have the same conversation again next year. But instead of it being $40 million, which 2 years later, it'll be $50 million. This is why it's nonsense to keep saying the same thing over and over again. And FYI, Josh Allen will be getting his deal, which will be in the 40s. Lamar Jackson this summer will be getting his deal, which will probably be in the 40s. The price just continues to go up. And as people always keep saying, you're not a Dallas Cowboy fan, you just want him to overpay him. No, I wanted you to pay him 2 years ago to get this thing done, so that way you can make Dak feel good and feel like he's wanted. And in the long run, you save money, because waiting does not make the price go down. This crap that this guy is trying to tell you, oh, well, if they have a poor season, instead of paying him 30, I can pay him a lot less. It doesn't work that way, dudes. It doesn't. When has it ever looked at and we said, you know what, we were going to pay him $30 million, but, you know, we decided that in the offseason we're going to pay him $25. It doesn't work that way in the NFL. And anybody that tells you that is stupid. But here we are, 2 years later, still having the same discussion. The only difference is it was $30 million before, and now it's $40 million a year. Get it done. Get it done. And one last point on this. The difference between last year and this year was this. Dak wanted 4 years, $35 million. Cowboys wanted that 5th year. They didn't get it done. Guess what? The difference of 35 and 40 is $5 million a year. If they had gotten this done last year, if they had caved and said, you know, we'll drop that year, you would have saved $20 million over 4 years. $20 million. By playing hardball for a 5th year, it costs you a minimum of $20 million. I just don't see it being that worth it. Get this thing done, get it over with, because the clock is ticking. Because from 1 month from today, 1 month is the designation of the franchise tag. And you have 2 weeks to determine if you're going to franchise tag somebody else or not. If you don't, they become a free agent. So it's time for the Cowboys to shit or get up off the toilet. I'm Mark Holmes, and of course, I appreciate you being here. And let me give you a special thanks, everybody who's been doing super chats as well as buying the racks. My racks. This one right here is going to Gina Thorne. I got to get her other one together so we can get them both out today. I appreciate the purchases or the super chats. I'm working on doing some more upgrades to the set, so that way we can bring you more and more stuff. You'll remember last year we ended up getting the alien computer that literally transformed everything we're able to do, where I've got multiple sets and stuff. It was an incredible investment, and I appreciate everybody who helped us to get there. And we're going to be doing some other things between now and the draft that hopefully will help us go even further. So again, thank you all so much. I always say it doesn't work without you guys, because, well, we're all in this together. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'm headed to my workshop, and I'll see you soon.